The 2026 USAC Sprint Car season is officially underway. The Winter Dirt Games have just wrapped up. We'll talk about everything from the Winter Dirt Games. We'll also talk about some other news and nuggets that have come out since the last official video that we did here. Welcome in to Sprint Car Central. As I said in the opener, I almost talked without unmuting the mic. As I said in the opener, the USAC Sprint Car season is officially underway, and we had a really fun, successful week of Winter Dirt Games. Successful because, well, we didn't have any rainouts, and also successful because we saw a lot of cool storylines, a lot of really fun stuff. If you were following along with us on social media, you can follow us on Facebook and X. That's where the most of our content goes. We're going to start using Instagram and TikTok a little bit more. Still got some work to do with that, but make sure you stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff to do, and as we're still just kind of getting started, getting some things sorted out, figuring out exactly how we're going to do things, I still welcome you in. But what a fun week it was, man. USAC really never disappoints. I think the racing is probably the best it's ever been. We've got a lot of really good drivers at the top of the charts right now who continue to come out and compete week in and week out. And it makes it a lot of fun to sit back and try to watch and try to figure out who are going to be competitors, who are going to be contenders this year as it continues to grow. You know, this is a series that I think has certainly, I think, grown a little bit more in popularity over the last couple of years. I think people are starting to tune in a little bit more, and rightfully so, because it is some of the best racing in the world, honestly. But with all that said, this was an interesting week. We had some great nights of racing, some really solid track prep. We had some great storylines, and we go ahead and get started by talking about your champion Logan Seavey, who was fantastic. I would say, I wouldn't quite say dominant, because he only won the championship for the Winter Dirt Games by 4 points over Brady Bacon, but was certainly, I think, at least what helped him the most was qualifying runs, being up towards the front throughout the course of the night. Whereas Brady Bacon ended up being the passing champion for Winter Dirt Games because he had to climb through the field a little bit. It started with Logan Seavey winning on Monday night. He would also pick up a win on Thursday at Ocala, but winning the opener at Volusia Speedway Park was a big deal for them. They have certainly found the speed and found what they were looking for there. Jake Swanson gets his first win as an owner driver with the 5T car on Tuesday night, closing out the run at Volusia. Wednesday night, Trey Osborne gets his first career USAC Sprint Car win. Really retribution. His career, as it was very well documented, almost ended at this racetrack a couple years ago with a big wreck going into turn 3, if I'm remembering it correctly. And this was kind of a big deal. But he also captured not only that, but I believe his at least 3 best finishes in USAC competition. I think 4 actually with Saturday night. That really builds momentum for Osborne and that crew. That was a big deal Wednesday night. That was a huge storyline. Not really to be outdone by the Jake Swanson story on Tuesday or the Chase Stocking story on Friday night. Chase Stocking getting his first win in a couple of years in that Moose Racing 92, getting the job done and returning to victory lane. Saturday night, it was business as usual. Justin Grant gets the job done and gets his first win of the 2026 season. Logan Seavey was, again, great. I think the best driver of the week, but Brady Bacon was certainly a close second. Some of the storylines that I was really surprised by, Kyle Cummins, not quite as good as I think we expected him to be early in the year or coming off of that championship. They were really, I think, solid as the week went on. They started to get a little bit more consistent, be up towards the front a little more. But early in the week, the 2 nights at Volusia, and then I think Wednesday and Thursday at Ocala, they just really didn't have the speed. Didn't seem like they were in the position they wanted to be in. I think they started to figure it out. Started to get back on track a little bit. but it was a bit of a surprise to see Kyle Cummins not as competitive as we were probably expecting him to be going into this week. Um, to go a little bit further on storylines, let's get to the chase. Let me pat myself on the back for a second. Chase Stockton winning completes bold prediction number 1 for me in the 2026 season. I predicted Chase Stockton would win during Winter Dirt Games. He got the win. That was, again, his first win, I believe, going back to 2022, if I'm not mistaken. His first win at Ocala since 2019. So a really big jump. That's a 16th win of his career. Joined some pretty interesting names there as well, including, I think, Damian Gardner and Jed Larson, I think, are the 2 that he joins at 16. So a really big win there, a fun one for Chase Stockton. Another storyline I followed was Robert Ballou coming back from injury. His first races in what I believe I counted up to be about 8 months. And it didn't quite stack up. Now, he felt good going into Monday night at Volusia, and I think that they had some speed there, but they just weren't quite fast throughout the course of the night. Never really moved through the field the way we would have expected, or at least I was expecting him to. I don't think it's related to the back injury. I just think the car wasn't quite on par yet. Wasn't quite where they were expecting to be. Of course, when you're out of the car for that long, it takes some time to kind of get things back under control and back into a rhythm, if you will. I don't expect that to be a long-standing problem for the 12 car, but an early struggle from Robert Ballou this week. The good thing, if you want to call it good, the accident that he had on, I believe, Thursday night was it was either Thursday or Friday. The crash he had on that night, was able to get through it. That was a pretty big incident, and to move through it, be okay, healthy, maybe a little sore, but overall healthy, coming off of a back injury, I think that's a really good really good vote of confidence for Robert Ballou going forward, that he's going to be able to stay healthy throughout the course of the year. No stranger to injuries, certainly, but we're wishing him good health throughout the course of this year. I think he can be a competitor as time goes on. At the end of the day, it was a great week at Volusia and Ocala Speedway. We have almost finished our time with Volusia. We're going to get one more weekend of action. That's going to be the World of Outlaws Bike Week in a couple weeks. So we'll be certainly talking about that a little bit more as time goes on. But a really fun week for USAC Sprint Cars. I know I keep saying that, but I thoroughly enjoyed the racing and the action that we got. The storylines were fantastic all week. Some other news and nuggets through the last week. We haven't really been around. Let's start with some on-track action. RJ Johnson sweeps the USAC CRA event at Paris Auto Speedway. It was a pretty solid deal. I mean, he's already the back-to-back defending champion, won in 2024 and 2025, the CRA championship. Continues to get off to a good start in that Petty Performance Racing 1P, I think it is. Might be mistaken on the number, but it is the 1 car. I know that. We move on from that. We got some other action this coming weekend. Central Arizona Speedway is going to be hosting and in the spotlight once again. This time for the ASCS, and it's going to host some, I think, some fun racing. I'm really excited for it. I'm excited to see what 360s do around that place again this year. Wyatt Miller making his official 360 debut with the ASCS this weekend at Central Arizona. He'll be there for the Sonoran Clash this weekend and the following Saturday when they close that week out. Why is this a big deal? I just think it's cool, honestly. I think it's a fun storyline to follow. Wyatt Miller, of course, those who don't know, the grandson of Dale Earnhardt Sr., the son of Kelly Earnhardt Miller and L.W. Miller. That's it's fun to watch what he's doing. I think, personally, I'm somebody who follows a lot of the grassroots stuff, seeing what he's been doing in a late model car on asphalt, seeing what he's been doing with the trophy truck stuff, and now he's jumping into a 360 sprint car for the first time. Not expecting much. I'm not sitting here saying he's going to come out and win this thing, because I don't expect it, but it's just cool. It's cool to watch these kids try to get into different things and run different stuff, so going to be fun to just kind of follow that storyline over the weekend. We'll give you some updates on that. Of course, we'll talk a little bit more about it on Monday next week. The other news that we got is Brogan Carter and Ryder LaPlante are both going to be taking on their second season with the ASCS. That's a pretty cool pretty cool couple of guys. Ryder LaPlante's a guy that I am expecting a little bit of an improvement from this year. I think he's going to be, I think he's going to border on being a contender in the ASCS. Of course, the powerhouse being Sam Havertine Jr., but I think it's going to be really fun to watch what both these kids are able to do as the year goes on. Some other news and nuggets. I'll save the big one for last, but Keith Sheffer and the Grove 45, they announced over the winter that they were going to be full-time with the All-Star Circuit of Champions, but it officially came out on the All-Star page that Keith Sheffer is going to be a full-time racer with the All-Star Circuit of Champions. They continue to announce more and more drivers as time goes on, and it's really going to be fun to watch that roster shape up. There's a lot of teams and names that still haven't quite committed to anything yet, so we'll kind of just play it by ear. See who ends up being All-Star Circuit Champions contenders in 2026. We've seen some names. Of course, Darren Ida was announced that he's going to drive the 11N, taking over that ride for Casey Jedrzak. I'm assuming they are going to be full-time All-Star Circuit Champions, but I could be mistaken. They weren't last year, so I have no reason to believe they will be this year. But it'll be interesting to watch what they end up doing as well on that crew. Last little nugget. This is the big one. High Limit announced a partnership with Interstate Batteries. Interstate Batteries now the title sponsor for 2026 and beyond. It's a multi-year deal that they didn't really announce an end date for. It doesn't seem like there is intended to be one at this time. But it'll be really interesting to watch kind of how that goes and flows as time goes on. High Limit was a huge success last year and has been since its inception. A lot of eyes are on this, and of course a lot of eyes on flow racing in general. But a lot of eyes been on High Limit Racing. It's certainly getting its due, and between Kubota and now Interstate Batteries, bringing in a lot of title sponsors, bringing in a lot of money, continuing to raise the purses as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. We got a High Limit preview show coming up here in the next couple of weeks as well, along with the All-Star Circuit Champions preview show. It's going to be a really cool year, I think, in sprint car racing. I've said that the last few years going now. It just continues to get more and more exciting. Of course, the announcement of Brad Sweet working with Paul Silva a little bit. Not surprised. A lot of people, that was probably one of the worst kept secrets over the last few weeks, was that was going to be announced and coming over down the line. So a lot of things yet to be discovered and announced here in this 2026 season. It's just beginning. It's February still, believe it or not, as much as we've had to talk about. So we'll have a lot more here on this channel. So make sure you stick around. Please like and subscribe. You see that down in the bottom right. It's not a plea. It's not a please or anything like that. It's just a thank you for sticking around. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope you guys will continue to follow us on this journey here at Sprint Car Central. We continue to grow every day. It's really cool. It's really appreciated, honestly. You guys have, those of you who have subscribed and followed us so far have been really cool. And just looking to continue to cover this sport, man. It's been a lot of fun so far. Been a good early start. Let's just keep trying to grow. So I thank you guys so much. We did add something to our collection that I haven't yet really announced or talked about. Those of you know, I am a NASCAR guy. I watch NASCAR all the time too. I'm really just a racing guy. I watch NASCAR, IndyCar, all the sprint car racing, and other little events here and there. But we did add something to our collection. I point back there. I don't know if I'm pointing to the right spot, but right there, we added the Chase Elliott Atlanta win to our collection this past week. So, really cool. Excited, happy to have that one added to our list. We got the Kansas win coming as well down the line. Just pretty sick. At some point, we'll go through this diecast collection because I have so many things. I mean, you can see the Graham Rahal car there. I got a bunch of Dave Blaney stuff. There's a lot of people know the stories there. So yeah, just kind of cool to maybe someday go through all those when we have some downtime. Maybe that's an off-season conversation. Not really an off-season. We got off-season cars too, but yeah, maybe a winter conversation sometime. We'll go through the diecast collection. So either way, appreciate you guys so much. A little slight off topic, but appreciate y'all tuning in again. Make sure you stick around. And we'll be back with another episode here in a couple days. I don't know if we'll get one immediately. We'll certainly be previewing the weekend with the ASCS as we see more and more announcements of who's going to be there. We'll have some more fun content as the time goes on. So I thank y'all so much. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.